Hi there. I'm privileged again to talk to Brandi in Texas. And as a preliminary point, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Just click in the bottom right-hand corner and make sure you follow all the interesting interviews and videos and news items that we are going to post on this channel. Well, yes, Brandi, we've spoken quite a lot before. How are you there in Texas?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, well, and the question on my mind was, is it possible for Joe Biden to become president? Because at the moment, lots of people, both in Europe and in South Africa, they seem to think that Trump achieved some kind of a breakthrough. But now, the media in the US and everywhere, they're saying that, yes, Biden could become the next US president. What's your opinion about that?
You know, I always I always have a laugh when I realize that people in South Africa, they worry that he's going to win, and I tell them, don't worry. There's no way that he can win. He's not going to win. Um, if you were here and you could see the difference, like for example, at a Trump rally, the people lined up down the street, around the buildings. I mean,
Okay, well, there's
capacity,
old Joe Biden on the screen there.
right? So his
He's
rallies,
pretty
he's got like
old,
300
isn't he?
people there. Yes, and he's very creepy. Now he's got this lady, what's her name? I forget what her name is, but she was on Tucker Carlson. She's came out and pretty much accused him of rape. I mean,
Yes. Yeah, he's
and
involved in a big scandal.
what's interesting about this is when Justice Kavanaugh was when they were trying to swear him in and confirm him, something from high school, this girl, it came out later that she was a part of the Democratic Party. And I mean, there were just all of these just plots and plans to just destroy this man's life. And he's a conservative, he's a Christian. He was the best man for the job. But when this just not even remotely true story came out, Joe Biden said that no matter what, she must be believed without evidence, without anything. So I'm just curious now. Well, so this woman, she should just be believed. That's accusing Joe Biden.
Yeah, but you say that you find him creepy. Why do you say that?
Well, in the past, there's always these clips of him touching people inappropriately, like kids and women. He's like a touchy-feely kind of guy and kisses people, and you'll see them like pulling back or cringing. There's a whole lot of pictures if
He's
you
a little
Google.
bit like Jean-Claude Juncker in at the European Union. You know, I mean, he's always doing that as well, and most of the time he's drunk as well. But he's like the main guy. Well, before this, von der Leyen became president of the European Union. Ursula von der Leyen from Germany. He was the main guy there, and he's always doing that as well. And there are lots of videos and pictures of him doing that, but somehow it didn't affect his reputation. But do you think it's going to affect Biden's reputation?
It hasn't thus far because he's been doing it forever. But on the campaign, at his rallies, he's, I don't know if he's drunk. I don't know if he's going senile. But at one rally, he forgot that it was his campaign. He started talking about when he ran as vice president, he thought he was in a whole other state on when him and Obama ran. I mean, he's really kind of lost it a little bit. He told a young lady that she asked him a question, and he said something that was so inappropriate to her. I can't remember what it is, but it's from like a Western movie. And I was just so shocked that they had it on Tucker Carlson. But he's just, some of the things that come out of his mouth. And, you know, a big thing for the Democrats here is to win, they have to have the black vote. And I think what has happened this past year has kind of been amazing, because there's been the walk away movement from the Democratic Party. So a lot of the black voting base, they've kind of opened their eyes to, wait a minute, like, you know, we're being lied to, we're being used for votes. And then when they get in office, they forget about us, and they don't keep their promises. And, you know, so.
Yeah, because immigration isn't really an advantage for Black Americans, because all these
No,
incoming third world people are going to take their jobs, aren't they?
exactly. Exactly. So the black unemployment rate is the lowest that it has ever been in American history. The Hispanic unemployment rate, every race unemployment rate, I mean, before the coronavirus thing, is the lowest that it's ever been in history. So Trump made a promise to the black voters, and even though some still hate him and just, you know, some people just don't want to see things of all races, not just black voters, but I mean, there are white liberals that are like that too. They just, if he told you we needed to breathe air, they would find a reason why breathing air is bad and we should all die and not breathe. But he told them, you know, give me a shot, give me a chance. He has put people back to work, especially, you know, the black community. He's actually done things that Obama never did in 8 years, in this 4 years, you know, or under 4 years. You know, Chicago, Obama's from Chicago. He never did anything to help stop the violence or anything in Chicago.
Yes,
Just makes you
exactly.
wonder why.
I mean, Chicago is like a war zone almost, the
Yeah.
south side of Chicago. Um, but do you think Trump is still popular in the US?
Yes. I mean, look, I'm not a Trump worshiper. If he does good, I say it's good and I appreciate it. But there are some things he does that I don't like. They have nothing to do with his personality. I don't care about that. I don't care what he talks about in private with guys. I care about what's happening for my country. You know, his how I feel about his personality, it doesn't matter. I don't care. So I think a lot of people, they 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 don't focus on the country. They focus on his personal traits that they don't like, you know. But yes, he's hugely popular in the flyover states, the rural areas like where I live, the forgotten Americans who, before he came along, you know, we were made to feel like strangers in our own country. And just like in every, you know, um, economy that's thriving, the middle class is who carries the country, you know. But we're the people that you hate the most. You know, Obama hated us. He said, you cling to your guns and your Bibles, and, you know, like, you're insulting an enormous amount of people. And Trump, he talks about God. So he's got the people in the Bible Belt, the evangelists, the Christians, you know, because he took that away, that, oh, we can't speak about that, you know, which made a lot of people happy. And I think the media, just like in South Africa, they put out what they want to put out. They don't put out the truth. Just like he wasn't going to win. He had no chance. Have you
Yes,
seen
I
the
mean, I can
electoral
still
map?
remember the morning after when Trump, when he won the election, because over here in South Africa, the, all of the mainstream media were just blindly following CNN and the New York Times and so on. And to them, it was such a shock. They couldn't believe it. They thought they were somehow asleep or having a bad dream or something. And then Trump
I'm one of those.
became president. It
They
was,
had me believing it too. I mean, they just put out all of this negativity that I didn't even watch the election. I went to bed because I could not stand to see that woman win. When I woke up, I was making coffee and I had the TV on and I heard Trump land. That's all I heard. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I started screaming, woke up everyone in the house. He won. Oh my God. He won. Um, so, I mean, I was in the same boat.
although I must say to my credit that I was a little bit skeptical, but I think about 2 days before the election, I started predicting that Trump would win, and people thought I was crazy. But it looked to me at that point as if there was some sort of a tipping point, and and the polls weren't exactly right. So then he won. So in the second term with Trump, it could make another big change because he won't be so worried about getting reelected, and then he could really start doing things.
I'll just be honest. I have a whole mental picture of what the second term is going to be. And I won't say what I usually say on your channel, but I feel like the second term, he is going to just hammer. Everybody's going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You, and you. And he is going to just do everything that needs to be done, really, is how I feel.
He is going to really drain the swamp.
I hope so.
Well, I think on that note, Brandi, thanks a lot for the interesting talk about Trump from your perspective right there in Texas. And I just want to ask the viewers again to subscribe to the channel. And we're going to have lots more interesting interviews coming up. And thank you very much, Brandi, for your time.
Thank you, Dan. And South Africa, don't worry. Joe Biden will never be president of the United States of America.
Okay.